We'll give it a little bit of time. Okay, we're going to give it a little bit of time here. All right, let's see. All right, we're going to give it a little bit of time and then we'll start. I'll begin. Just stay tuned. We're getting the studio next week, so we'll be able to get our live stream. Okay, we're just waiting a few moments. Oh, sorry. Okay. All right, so I'm going to pull up some data while we wait. Make sure you subscribe. Can everybody hear me okay? There's only a few people on. Okay, we're just waiting. We're going to be starting here shortly. We're just trying to wait a few more moments. And eventually next week, we're going to actually have, I'm going to be able to share my screen. We'll be in our little small, very small studio. So we'll be able to like show documents on the screen. And it won't be like in a bedroom where it looks like I'm in some like grandma's house or something. So it'll actually be a good backdrop. So we'll actually have like videos and, you know, I'll be kind of in the bottom left or bottom right where it won't be like, oh, boom, here's me and just listen to me to talk, you know. So we'll make it a lot better. For some reason, this computer does not let me stream, and our audio and video guys are going to be getting it going. So anyways, hope everyone's going good. Please comment on any chats. If you guys can hear me, press 1. Please comment on anything you want to know about the Delphi case. This is the Delphi case marathon. We're going to be going over, today we're going to be going over Ron Logan. We're going to be going over Detective Holman. We're going to be going over the Richard Allen appeals. We're going to be going over Brad and his sons and everybody involved as far as Odinism, Patrick Westfall. We're going to be going over ties to other cases, the Flora files. So we're going to be doing a lot. And make sure you subscribe. That's all I ask. I don't want to repeat myself, but that's the biggest thing. And again, moving forward, we're going to have a lot. You know, we're going to be able to share a screen. We're going to have a lot better content the next few weeks. So today, I want to start out with going through, and I'm going to wait another minute, but I want to go over Ron Logan. So that's first and foremost. We're going to go over the search warrant again, and we're going to really take a deep dive on Ron and why the special agents. Exactly. Let me comment real quick. Exactly. So we're going to be taking we're going to be really focused for about 25 to 30 minutes on Ron Logan. Then we're going to be going after Detective Holman. And then moving forward, we're going to be going over those interrogation videos, but we're going to be breaking that down today and how he used deceptive tactics. And again, a lot of people too are commenting on my polls. They're calling me a kook. Not too many, but like there are people thinking like, hey, I'm just defending a murderer. No, I'm not. It's good to be an adult and have open dialogue. It's good, you know, nobody's 100% certain of anything. Okay. So like the comments about being, hey, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're an idiot, you're a kook. This case in particular, there is not enough evidence, okay, to convict Ron Logan or Richard Allen. I'm sorry. So people, you know, that are calling me kooks, that are like, hey, don't quit your day job. I actually find that funny. I don't think I'm that good. I don't have any ego. So I think that's actually comical, but I'm saying like to call me a kook or like I'm supporting a child murderer. I want to say first and foremost, I would never support a child murderer. I support justice. I support logic, reasoning, and a lot of the members here have a lot of details to cases that don't make sense. So the trolls out there, the people that are pissed off, excuse my French, or hated, it's really uncalled for. Because we want an open forum, and we want to understand what exactly is going on with society. I don't believe, like how I was raised is only believe 50% of anything you've ever told. Like, don't just assume because it's on the media or because a detective said it is. It's not 110%. There's always room for error. And, if you look at the Justice Department and you look at in terms of how many wrongful death convictions there are, it's terrible. So, like, don't attack me because I want to have an open dialect with a bunch of people about something that really should be brought to attention. Okay, it's not like I'm crazy saying, hey, this is tied to the aliens in Mars and it was an alien that flew out and did this. Like, we're talking about an FBI special agent within week 1, reviewed everything. I think it was like day 4 or 5. And you had Ron Logan giving a false alibi. Okay, on top of that, there's all these other Odinism and a bunch of other moving pieces. On top of the very little evidence they had against Richard Allen. So I think when something like that happens, I think it's very important not to look the other way, not to believe everything you hear in life. I started out in sales in my life, and for how many times I was like persuading somebody to buy a product when it wasn't exactly 110% what I was saying it was. Now, again, I wasn't trying to deceive somebody, but I was just following the rules of a corporation and my sales pitch. Well, I was saying some things about the success of a product where, it's 50-50. It wasn't 100%. Like when I worked at the job long enough, I was like, wait a minute. When I first started, you said this, but it actually wasn't. So, like, don't believe everything that you hear is what I'm trying to say. And I think a lot of people that belong to this channel that watch understand that. And that's why, we're speaking. It's not because I'm a fan of a child killer. I mean, that is the sickest thing I've ever heard. I would never side with someone that wants to harm children or anything like that. In my perspective, I'm actually siding with someone that I feel that is innocent. I'm not some crazy conspiracy theorist. I'm following what the FBI said, honestly. So I'm following FBI search warrants, and I'm following the data on that. And then also, I do want to keep an open ear with the Keegan Klein and the Odinism. I want to hear everything. Why would I close my ears and only hear what you want to tell me, right? I'm not Detective Holman. This isn't a court case where I'm hiding from the juror. I don't care that you got 12 jurors to agree. If you're hiding evidence or you're not showing all the facts, well, then what does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. That's like playing sports and having like an injured, I don't like to use this as an analogy, but you're beating an injured quarterback on a football team. All right, well, you beat the guy that was the stud quarterback, and did you really beat that team? So that's kind of where I leave it. Hey, everybody. Hey, Reby. They would change their tune if it happened to them. Exactly. Right. 100%. Hey, Ted, thank you for your continued coverage of the case. Thank you so much. And again, studio's coming where we'll be able to share screens. This particular computer breaks down. So next week we'll be able to show all the content, and it won't just be a big photo of me. I'll be off on the side. So hey, everybody. Here, I just say hi to everybody. And if anybody has any suggestions, any more knowledge of the case, you guys are way more knowledgeable than anyone. So I love all the comments. I'll read them. So I think that's the best part of this little, really small community, is that you guys are so knowledgeable and you guys just want to know, you want more questions answered. You don't want to sit there and just believe the narrative, right? I mean, that's what I did in probably year 2 or year 3 or 4, whatever they convicted Richard Allen, when I first saw a bridge guy with very little information that I knew about the case. I just clicked on the TV. I was like, oh, that's him. Boom. Okay, they got him. And I closed it off. I've always been a big true crime fan, but I didn't really, we all knew about the case. A lot of people knew about it, but when they showed the bridge guy and Richard Allen, I was the one that just said, oh, yeah, that's him. They got him. On to the next subject, right? And then I started researching the case. And my dad, even, who's a psychologist, was researching it. And then it became holy cow, it's pretty obvious. Hey, Ruby, more eyes on this corruption and evil in Delphi, the better. Me too, Ted. I'm going to hit thanks. Thanks for everybody for joining, and I appreciate, again, all the feedback. I mean, we have incredible feedback. If you look at our comments, there are people that have so many different angles. I mean, I wish everybody was in the courtroom. It would blow the juror's mind. But so I'm going to start out, and again, this is very basic. Yeah, please, thank you. Don't forget to like or subscribe, please. That's the biggest part of it. Like and subscribe. It just helps with the algorithm. And again, I don't want to keep saying that, but that's one thing that is very important that I don't do. I did a little overkill on a few videos before this. I was like subscribe, and someone was joking with me. I was like, yeah, that was probably a little overdone, because we do boots on the ground. So like we'll go to, I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Baseline Killer, but like we went to their house in Phoenix, Arizona. So we'll go to places too, where we'll do like live stream and fun stuff like that. But lately we've been just kind of holed up on this Delphi case, which is so important. Yeah, yep. We're definitely getting things rolling. Thank you, Donald. Yep, we're definitely going to have a lot more professionalism on the live stream. So my goal is to actually do timelines and do video with Adobe and show the bridge and like show in-depth cell phone pinging, and then just way more stuff with the Delphi case, and then other cases too, like Idaho 4. Again, recap some of the biggest cases of the year. It's been very challenging trying to grow a base where it's just my picture talking, right? So really thank you for watching. Oh my God, his appeal. We're going to be going over his appeal. I am kind of conflicted with that. I feel like they make a great argument with that, but I mean, I feel like don't know what's up with the Ron stuff. Like, why not introduce that? And I know he's a dead person that can't defend himself, so I don't know the legality of that or his son, but I mean, I get why they would go that angle. I think that angle is enough of an angle for enough doubt to get jurors to say he's innocent. Like, I don't think you can convict somebody with that type of evidence. I'm sorry, allegedly, like speculation evidence. I think that's enough, because that unspent bullet wasn't enough. There wasn't enough data on that. And since it was like 3 days and he was the first person in for interrogating, and if you watch that interrogation video and see how innocent he looks, and then you put all those other pieces in play with the spiritual ritual stuff, I think that's totally enough to convict or to not convict somebody and to win. Now, I do know with how tough the judicial and circuit court systems are that they're going to block it any way they can. But that's enough in my book, where if I was a juror, I would have enough doubt where I would be like, no, this doesn't make sense. You only have this one little thing. You don't have DNA. You don't have blood. You have nothing. You have absolutely nothing about this guy. Weekend place. Exactly. Donald, exactly. It is weak in places, so it is good. However, it is weak enough where I'm worried about it. It's not like a slam dunk by any means. I really think if I had to bet my life on it, I think they could try to railroad his ass. Excuse my language. I think it's not as moving as it should be, because if you tie everything together, because they're holding out so much information that it feels criminal. Exactly. Yes, you have to have a new judge. Okay, so I'm going to read over, and again, you probably saw it in another video, but I think it's big because we're going to dissect the Ron Logan search warrant. I mean, this is from FBI agent Nicole Robertson. So this is the FBI, right? So this is people that went to school for it. Somebody that's probably been in the workforce with the FBI 5 to 10 years. This is not their first rodeo, right? So like discrediting the FBI right out of the gates, and waiting 30 days for a search warrant, I feel is unjust. I feel it's not right. I feel it screws the case up. Now, again, I understand a lot of you have other issues with like he was railroaded because he, a little tight-knit community of Delphi and Holman and like the fires issue and Holder and stuff like that. So I'm not discrediting that. I'm just saying, let's just take a simple piece of the puzzle on Ron Logan, and let's just talk about this first, and then we'll go over the Detective Holman interrogation, we'll go over the unspent round, we'll go over Brad Holder, we'll go over all the other layers of this. And when you have this many layers, it's really Keegan Klein, and like I understand in the Dropbox, like What were they communicating with the Dropbox? You have so many different angles. Hey, how's it going? You have so many different angles of this case that it blows my mind, because the one thing we do know is when you have that many different suspects, you have that many people, that much people like saying, hey, he committed the crime. Hey, his cell phone pinged here. Hey, a false alibi. I think, me personally, if I had to bet my life on it, again, I wouldn't want to bet my life on it. I think Ron Logan's pretty close. But again, I'm not opposed to thinking of other theories and Otism. Like, it kind of spins you around. There's blood on the tree, if that's correct, and some of the other things that people have told me. I can see a lot of different scenarios, maybe less probability in some scenarios, but there's enough there where it's crazy. I mean, even if you take the ritual killings, right? If you take Odinism, that's enough to make him, a hung jury, right? I mean, you don't know in a reasonable doubt, hey, we chambered the round. Chamber the round. You got to do that 1,000 times. We had a gunsmith on here that said, yeah, you can't identify a 40 caliber Smith & Wesson 6 Sauer P226. Like, I talked to 6 Sauer. I have someone in special ops and says, hey, I've been shooting machine guns, AR-15s and M16s and custom weapons, and like, it's impossible to chamber. It's got to be like totally set up. So when you have so many different variables, and I hate using this reference, but what's funny is Richard Allen seems about as guilty as O.J. Simpson seemed innocent, right? I mean, it was like, remember when O.J. Simpson said, oh, there was another killer there that I went with. If I did it, this is how I would do it. Like, after the fact, hey, the glove doesn't fit. He's going like this. Like, it just, you can't sleep at night in my mind and think it's Richard Allen. Like, if I was on the jury, there's no way I would say he's guilty. And again, they didn't hear all the other information, so maybe they would. God, it's so hard to think that guy's guilty. The bullet is so irrelevant. The fact they use is unbelievable. Exactly, Jessica. I agree. The bridge guy's Ron Logan. I just can make it make sense. In my opinion, the bullet was planted. Yeah, I know. So there's also that theory. So then there's the planted theory, because it's like you go to search his house. And that was my thing. Like, did they have the bullet right when they searched? Ricky Allen went mushroom hunting. He was walking around. He never even used that gun. It's like when you buy a gun and you don't hunt a lot and you put it in a safe and you don't even touch it. I mean, how many gun owners, outside of people that are paranoid or maybe live on a big farm that are always shooting, how many gun owners actually, again, if you take it in your car with you, as long as it's concealed, that's different state by state. But like, how many people do you know that have guns that haven't took it out of their house, right? So it's like, he reminds me of just a dad with a daughter working at CVS. And I'm not discrediting him. I'm just saying, he's just like a dad. Like, hey, listen, I was going about my day. I went through a walk. I'm killing time. I didn't do it. I have a daughter. I just don't understand the motive. I don't understand why he would do that. He wasn't some crazy like Ted Bundy guy. What do they say? When you're 26 to about 38 is when you become a serial killer. Like, that's the prime of being insane. Like, what was he, 46-year-old guy? Like, you just don't have it anymore. Yeah, a domestic abuse, 100%. If, your wife, your husband, I mean, I do have buddies that are officers that are constantly going on domestic disputes, but just walking in the woods and you decide to murder people. I don't know. And it was a cool February day. So like, think of being like turned on, right? So, and again, I don't want to like creep anybody out, but like, it's cold outside. Are you that turned on walking on that tricky bridge? Like, I just don't see it I guess I'm a little wrong, because I guess Ron Logan probably was, but I just don't see his size and being able to move the bodies. I mean, I'm not the tallest guy in the world. I don't know if I could move those people around, and like, you're not there. I don't see it. And then if you see his bar photos, right, when he's with his wife, he's taking photos in these, the all points bulletin of one of the guys in the background. I mean, he's going to sit there and take a photo. And if he's the murderer, don't you think he's going to know about those all point bulletins and see that and have a guilty conscience? Do you really think he's going to sit there and take a picture next to that? I mean, Ted Bundy wouldn't, you know? Hold on, let me read some of this. Plus, he had how many stents in his heart? Yeah, bad heart. It wasn't even physically possible for one person. Exactly. They didn't even have a picture of the bullet in the ground and be picked up. Yeah, exactly. Up all day, did they? Chain of command. Yeah. So there's also that angle, right? So if you're looking at a case for that long, at that point, you don't care, right? If you're a detective, you're like, let's just find somebody. Okay. He honestly didn't believe the Ron Logan thing for whatever reason. He wanted to frame somebody. He wanted to do his job for his boss. And we've all, or not all, but we've been in corporate situations where, your boss is the golden, like the gold standard. Like, hey, I want to appease this guy. I'll do whatever it takes. And maybe you don't mean it. I mean, Jerry Holman looks like a really, in my opinion, not the best human being, but that's probably because we've seen the worst of him. And I've seen him at like Crime Con and like to even show your face. Like I wouldn't be able to even show my face in front of people. And like a few other news anchors that like take pictures with him, I think it's absolutely sick. I think he's a pretty twisted individual. They did okay. Here's Reby. Wait, here's Yokarazan. It wasn't even physically possible for one person. Reby. They did even have pictures of the bullet on the ground. Sorry, jurors were spoon fed at the motel. Belly Mayday, hey, hope all's well. Libby weighed more than he did. Yeah, exactly. Lippy weighed 200 pounds. Yeah. Our all trained horses. He was pretty tough. No, Ron Logan was a tough dude. Like he not only beat women, he trained horses. He's a strong dude. Like don't let that guy fool you. Tool mark evidence is bogus. I think you can identify the type of tool used because it's the exact tool to BS. Maybe you can't forget the election that was coming up in the week. Yeah, good point. No literature marks, defensive wounds, blood has flown through the throat to the face. Crime Con is a joke. Yeah, Crime Con is a joke. And if you've seen, and again, I don't want to criticize people, but Idaho 4, you have Stacy Chapin, Ethan's mom. Why is she sitting there signing autographs? And again, I don't want to say anything. It could be a fundraiser. It could be for legal fees, whatever. I just thought that was pretty suspect. Like, whoa. What are you doing there? I don't know if I lost a loved one, I would be able to sit there and do it. But again, everyone has their own take on things. Rich Rail will never be the same. Exactly. So he had anxiety, and he 100% will never be the same. So I'm going to read just a little bit. And again, I won't be able to see you guys, but I'm going to read a little bit. And if this sounds repetitive, but there's a few pieces that I really want to dive into about the Ron Logan search warrant because we're going to go over everything. Let me see here. I won't be able to see anybody. Hey, y'all. Hey, what's up, Sleuth Goosey? Okay. Thanks so much for staying with me, too. I just want to say we're getting the new studio out, and then I'll be able to share the screens. You don't have to just see me directly. I might be over in the corner. So we're going to have a lot better content coming up. So I apologize. This computer, like, for some reason, breaks down when I share a screen. So we have the one new one we purchased. We needed like a certain amount of RAM, blah, blah, blah. This one will not let me share my screen for whatever reason, but our studio will have that issue handled. I can't see anybody, but I'm going to read. This is just so, oh boy, what did I do? Let me just double check. Okay, we're going to go to the first page. Okay. Nicole Robertson swears or affirms that she believes and has good cause to believe evidence of a homicide is located in the residence of Ron Logan. So for everyone that's called me crazy online, and I'm not being pompous, like, oh my God, all these millions of people know me. No, I'm just saying the few that have called me a kook or weird. This is the FBI, documentation by the Federal Bureau of Investigation saying Ron Logan. Okay, not speculating, saying Ron Logan. This is why I brought it up, because people that say I'm a fan of a child murderer is just, it's in poor taste. It's so untrue. It's horrible. It makes me toss and turn at night. And quite frankly, it pisses me off because you need to know the facts too in life. I wouldn't be talking about this case if it didn't have so many holes in it, right? I wouldn't just be saying like, hey, John Wayne Gacy didn't kill the people, right? He wasn't in the basement. Now he had other people to help him, but like I wouldn't just be like, oh, that guy didn't do it, right? No, we're talking about a case. And for the people that comment, if you use your brain and actually look into the case, there's probably a very low probability, unless you have an extremely, and again, I'm not knocking you, but extremely low IQ to think it's a slam dunk case. Okay, so for you to be like, oh, this guy's a kook, this guy's a child murder lover, like that's in poor taste. Stop the trolling. Stop that. I can't stand it. I usually don't like to remove comments, but I removed a few because of the fact that people were bashing me, and it's like I just want to bring justice to I feel who's innocent man. Like I would bet my life that he's innocent over that he's not innocent. Thank God I don't have to. I'm not 100% certain, but to call me like a child murderer lover is disgusting. It's in poor taste. It's horrible. I'm not bringing up a case that is like slam dunk, right? Where it's like Jeffrey Dahmer, where I'm saying, oh, Jeffrey Dahmer didn't kill those people. He didn't eat them. No, I don't bring up cases where there's overwhelming evidence. And even if we try to pick loopholes and holes in the cases, those cases are pretty sound and you can't. I'm bringing up something where I think the general public that actually knows about this case would side with me. I'm 100% confident. I'm sorry, whatever, 90% confident that most people would look at this, look at all the evidence, and think the same thing. So for anyone to sit there and say I'm a child murder lover is the sickest, most grotesque thing in the world. I love children. Like it is the worst thing you could ever say. It's in poor taste. It's disgusting. And I'm sorry, I don't want to keep ranting, but I'm passionate about that. I'm like, are you out of your mind? Like children, like I understand the family, I understand the situation they're in, the grievance, everything involved with that. I get that. But this is about an innocent man. How would you like to do 130 years in jail over a chambered round and no DNA, no fingerprints, nothing, right? Well, what about that guy? He had a wife, he had a kid. He's just locked up and that's it. Oh, screw him. That's all. How about if that was you, right? So I just want to make sure people are still okay. I've been called that too. Doesn't faze me anymore. Exactly. Justice for the girls. Exactly. It's the trolls, Ted. What is coming to them? Delphi brings the trolls. Exactly, everyone. Yep. If he gets out, his life will be hell. Yeah, exactly. His life will be agreed. Okay, I'm going to start reading just a little bit. All right, here we go. Nicole Robinson swears or affirms. Oh, let me make sure we're still on, right? We're still on. I'm telling you, next week when we have our studio, it'll be easier. Okay. Nicole Robertson swears or affirms. Holy cow, we got to zoom in. My eyes, you get a little older in life, your eyes go a little bad. Nicole Robertson swears or affirms that she believes and has good cause to believe evidence of a homicide is located in the residence of Ron Logan, located in blah, 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 Delphi, Indiana, situated in the county of Carroll, in said state, which is described as a white two-story single-family dwelling situated in the county of Carroll, including the detached garage, outbuildings, a white 250. The VIN number states as follows. Okay, so for people that are upset, FBI. I mean, I can't get any. It can't be more obvious than that. Like that is something like the FBI. I get it. Like part of the FBI could be or could not be politically motivated. I mean, I get there's always two sides of every story, but we are looking at a small town where I think it might be politically motivated on the detective side, on the state side. The federal side, it's not politically motivated. No one, in all due respect, no one at the time knew the Delphi wasn't on some now it was on a national headline level probably, right, over time, but it was not like politically motivated, right? Indiana, probably the governor might have been like Mike Pence back then. Like on a state side, there could be like a Good Boys Club or something, but like on a federal level, FBI were just doing their job. I think we can all agree on that. Like it wasn't some coup or something to go against them, right? So like Nicole Robinson, special agent with the FBI Bureau of Investigation, special agent. That's a hard title to get, right? That's not just easy. That's not just going through boot camp. That's somebody that put the time in, that believed in the system and really worked their way up. She's been employed for 12 years, special agent, 12 years. And this isn't politically motivated. This is not politics at the time, right? At least on this FBI level. She's been employed for 12 years. I find that very hard to believe. FBI special agent, 12 years. Prior to employment as FBI agent, she was involved and employed in the Sauk Village, Illinois police officer for approximately 6 years. So you have 18 years of law enforcement. I mean, why are we throwing that out the window? Why doesn't this paperwork matter? How does this not matter to a jury? How does this not matter? 18-year, 12-year FBI, 6-year police law enforcement. This person is someone that, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but someone that you have to respect, right? Someone that you probably would say might know what they're talking about. Okay, so for all the people that say, hey, child murderer, lover, whatever other BS you want to throw at me, well, I'm just following an 18-year-old law enforcement, 18-year length of term law enforcement veteran. You're going to go against, the probability to go against someone that has been in law enforcement 18 years and 12 in the FBI, this wasn't her first rodeo. You know what I mean? And again, I keep an open mind, right? So like if I was trying to pick apart her, I would still keep an open mind. But like, this is a bam in your face. This is not a person that's been there for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 18 years combined. Okay. And again, those people can make mistakes too. I'm not saying that. And that's why you got to keep an open mind. But 18 years. So when I'm bringing you data on my opinion, this particular case is backed by the FBI, a 12-year veteran, 6 years in law enforcement. This is not some like BSer. Like this is a pretty good person. And again, it doesn't matter the length of term of someone, right? Anybody can be wrong. There's always a percentage of chance. But it's not like I'm just pulling a rabbit out of my hat here. Okay? I'm reading a search warrant put together by the FBI. Okay? That in itself would cause our federal system, right? Even our president, our vice president, that Secretary of Defense, people would like open their eyes a little bit, be like, holy cow, wait a minute. Like most people in law enforcement be like, hey, wait, FBI wrote a paper on this. And again, if it's not politically motivated, whatever side you're on, I'm just saying like FBI, small town, this is what they think. It would stop most people in their tracks. Okay. Most, even law enforcement, most Indiana State Police, most people would read this. And I feel like it's just not me saying this. Most people would be like, this is kind of goofy. Like this is enough evidence to stop me in my tracks. And if you think it's not, I would love to have you on because it's crazy to not think. And there could be, not saying it's 100% bulletproof, but this is enough evidence to stop you in your tracks, to not call someone a schizo online or like a psycho or crazy, right? Because people are like, oh, it's a slam dunk case. You're a child murderer level. Well, I just read the first 2 paragraphs. And if you don't have the common sense and the aptitude to stop in the tracks and just think for a second that an FBI special agent said, hey, I think there's a good cause to believe the evidence of a homicide is located at Ron Logan's house. And this is what we think, and like search his property. Like for this, if this document didn't exist, you got me. I probably wouldn't even be with you guys today right now on this topic. Sorry, let me have a little sparkling water. Okay, so let me just make sure everybody's still on. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm going to keep reading now. So background. On February 13, 2017, at approximately 1 p.m., juvenile victims, hereafter referred to as Liberty German and Abigail Williams, were taken to the Monon High Bridge located in Delphi, Indiana. LG and AW were walking the trail in the area of County Road 300 and 575 West, and they talk about latitude, longitude. Yep, exactly. Okay, so at 2:13 p.m., which was the time of his last the contact of the cellular device, so was the last contact of the cellular device. The victims were to be picked up by the family member at 3 p.m. The victims never met with the family member, which we know that. Approximately at 5:30 p.m. was the last successful ping of the cellular phone by AT&T. The victims, Liberty German and Abigail Williams, were located deceased on February 14, 2017 at approximately 12:17 p.m. at or above, they're saying longitude, latitude. So here she is documenting that. We'll go to the next page. Okay, 1 second. We're going. Okay, design 2. Okay, it was also discovered. Okay, this is key. So it was also discovered that one of the victims was missing from the crime scene while the rest of the clothes. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, I'm out of date here. And this won't happen next week, I promise. All right, so there's page 1. Okay, so right now we have both girls saying, I'm sorry, both. We have the special agent talking about Ron Logan. Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm sorry, getting a little ahead of myself here. Zip file. Okay, we should have something up right here. Okay. And again, I'll be able to share all this. I guess this is it. Okay, items was missing from the crime scene while the rest of the clothing was recovered. Also appeared the girls' bodies were moved and staged. Based upon my training and experience, it is common for perpetrators for this type of crime to take a souvenir or in some fashion memorialize the crime scene, whether by photo or electronic or digital methods that they're then downloads on the computer, storage devices, blah, blah, blah. LG and AW had no visible signs of a struggle or fight. 8, during the processing of the crime scene investigation, located unknown fibers and unidentified hairs, which may later be used for comparison. Logan owns numerous weapons, including handguns and knives, that were observed by law enforcement during the execution of the search warrant that took place at his home on March 6, 2017. Logan's home was searched as a result of a probation violation. The search was limited to the discovery of firearms and included only his main residence. Okay, so if you guys don't know this, his main residence. So when they went there, it was a absolute hoarder house. It was a house where there was just so much clutter. Okay, and where it wasn't clutter, was in his bathroom. It was a prestige bathroom. It was newly remodeled. Okay. And Nicole Robertson was talking about make sure you check the pipes, make sure you check the drains, make sure you check that. Well, then when they went there and took photos, there was a brand new, it looked like a bath fitter. Have you ever heard of the company called Bath Fitter? It looked like a bath fitter tub. It looked like a brand new remodeled tub. And it was actually crazy. So I have a video on that where it shows pictures. So when you allow 31 days to actually have time to remodel, pull out those drains, okay? And then another thing is everyone goes, well, his alibi. Well, he told an alibi before a crime has been committed. But everyone's like, oh, he was driving a suspended license or like a DUI probation or whatnot. Well, the key with that is he didn't talk about his transit station trip where he dumped stuff in garbage, right? So he didn't bring up that and didn't have an alibi for that. He didn't say one word of that. So if you're that concerned with an alibi, right? If you're that concerned about driving in a suspended license, why wouldn't you bring up the other piece? That's just my opinion. What was the case between Logan and Ellen and involve the case? Thanks. Yep, we're definitely going to go over that. Okay, so I'm just pulling up the other documents here. And again, I just want to go through this for people that, I want to be able to take a deep dive on this and really figure this out. Okay, let's see what part 3 says. Okay, so this is Nicole Robertson. Law enforcement officer advised Logan that law officers would not search his home unless evidence led to law enforcement to Logan's home. So like law enforcement officers advised Logan that they would not search his home unless it went to his home. Well, guess what? Then they searched his home. Number 12. Okay, wait. The law enforcement that he did not think evidence would lead them to him. But Ron Logan told law enforcement, I don't think it would lead me to them, but I don't know. What? I remember Ron Logan's son saying, Dad, you need to quiet your mouth or like not talk so much. Okay. And I'm not throwing that guy under the bus. I don't know. That's out of context. But now Ron Logan's saying, I don't know. I mean, you guys can watch the interviews and we'll be showing them on the next stream. But like Ron Logan talking to the media people, talking like third person, saying, well, the girls, it would have never happened if they didn't do this. Like now you're saying, I don't know. If you're killing, if you are innocent, would you really say, I don't know? Hey, I don't know. No, you're not going to say that. I'm not saying everyone's not going to say that, but it starts pointing at you, right? It definitely points at you. 12, a receipt from the Aquarium World in Lafayette, dated February 13, 2017, with a checkout time of 5:21 p.m. was found in Logan's home on March 6, 2017, during a probation violation search. Logan's resides approximately 22 miles from the store. It would take 30 minutes to get to the store and back. And then again, so probably an hour. 13, on March 6, 2017, during an interview with law enforcement officers, Logan said he was picked up around 3 p.m. and taken straight to the aquarium store to Lafayette. In the March 6, 2017 interview, Logan said after he was done at the aquarium store, he was driven straight home. These statements were found to be factually false and intentionally designed to deceive law enforcement. Okay, so right there, he's trying to deceive law enforcement. FBI is saying this, right? So if the FBI is saying this, on March 7, 2017, was interviewed. He was interviewed again by law enforcement, told the law enforcement officers that he was with Logan. I think this is the cousin, on Monday, February 13, 2017, and that he drove Logan to the aquarium store in Lafayette. On March 9, 2017, was interviewed by another law enforcement officer regarding the trip to the aquarium. He told LEO that he had lied when he was interviewed by law enforcement officers on March 7, 2017, and Logan's request explained that Logan had never asked to lie to him in the past. So all of a sudden now, out of the blue, he asked him to lie. Also said that Logan did not ask him to lie for Logan when Logan drove to the transfer station earlier that day. So bam. So you're lying about. So I want to know everybody's thoughts on this and like let me know. There's no connection. Oh, can you guys hear me? Okay. So Logan asked him to lie then, but not at the transfer station. Am I crazy, or do you guys think there's something with that? Okay. Yeah, 1 second. Someone's there. So, all right, I'm going to keep reading. Between Logan and Allen, no. Right, exactly. Something with that part. Something with it. Okay, perfect. Okay. Yes. Okay. Sounds good. We'll keep reading. Sorry about that. Okay, we're on the next article. And again, if this is repetitive, sorry, I really wanted to break this down. Okay, law enforcement's discovery of LG and AW bodies. Based on the investigators' experience, it's reasonable to believe that the creation, and this is key, right? It's reasonable to believe that a creation of an alibi prior to the discovery of a crime indicates culpability or knowledge of the crime. I mean, how powerful is that statement? I have that statement going in my mind 24/7. When I read this document, okay, based on investigators' experience, FBI, it is reasonable to believe that the creation of an alibi prior to the discovery of a crime indicates culpability or knowledge of the crime. Okay, so for people that want to say, hey, you guys are defending, child killer Ricky Allen, blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about the search warrant. Let's talk about the false alibi. What are your thoughts on that? Why would he make up an alibi? Oh, because he had a suspended license. Well, then why not at the other place? Oh, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Blank said he thought the photograph of the male that was released by the media of the man on the bridge looks like Logan. Okay. Let's start stacking the pieces. Okay. Let's be logical and rational. And just, if we're just reading this document from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, who wants a search warrant, who thought it was him. Logan had driven on February 13th to the transfer station in Delphi, drop off trash. The video from the transfer station shows Logan driving his white Ford pickup between 11:27 a.m. and 11:32 a.m. The video from the transfer station appears to be off by 26 minutes, putting Logan at the transfer station approximately 11:53 and 11:56 a.m. Logan did not ask Blank to provide an alibi for his drive to the transfer station on February 13th. Logan only asked Blank to provide an alibi for a trip that would have occurred at the time of the apparent abduction. I mean, guys, drop the mic. I mean, and again, I want to keep an open mind here, but we're digging the hole deeper and deeper and deeper. And Richard Allen has got some shady thing they're trying to tie to him of a chambered round. That's it. So you have the FBI data. Where's Richard Allen? Oh, within 3 days, he's right going to law enforcement. They think it was him, or like park ranger, whatever, and cleared him. March 8, 2017, was interviewed by law enforcement officers, met with Logan about 7 or 8 years ago, was in a personal relationship with Logan for a couple months and said, and would stay with him in his home on weekends. Logan left and became physically abusive. Okay. So now we have an extremely abusive person, right? I'm going to keep going. Sorry, I thought, okay. Okay, where am I at here? Oops, sorry about that. Okay, sorry about that. We'll go to the next one. I kind of minimize the screen, kind of screwed up on me here. We're talking about the cell phone pingings next. Okay, let's go into the cell phone pinging. So we're talking about abusive person Logan carried out. I'm going to zoom this. Logan carried a gun everywhere he went. He knew that Logan would carry a gun in a fanny pack and described Logan's fanny pack as one made out of nicer material. 21. During March 8th, 2017 interview, he told law enforcement officers, this is extra, when she first saw the photograph of the man on the bridge, she thought the police were looking for Logan because she thought the photograph was Logan, did not initially realize the photograph was that of the suspect. I mean, how many more things do we have to stack up here? It just keeps, the evidence keeps compiling. Whatever you want to think, whatever side you want to take, it's becoming more and more and more obvious, right? So, you know, like I talked about on the earlier week episode, you have circles. Well, there's rings around Logan that just keep circling. And we're about 4 or 5 rings now of someone that committed a crime. You have abusive, okay? We're not even on the jailhouse confession yet. We're literally on someone that goes, oh, I don't even know the crime. Maybe that looks like Logan. Why are they talking about Logan on the news, on the bridge? You know, you have so many different things pointing towards him. And with that many things pointing towards him, the one thing I know for sure is, you know, Ricky Allen doesn't have enough pointing towards him to put him in jail for 130 years. Okay. So number 22, a call placed using Logan's cell phone produced a self-tower data that shows Logan's cell phone appears to be in or around his property on February 13, 2017 at 2:09 p.m. Although his exact location cannot be confirmed, the tower data shows Logan's cell phone was in the Delphi area around the Monon High Bridge. 23, analysis of Logan's cell phone revealed a text message sent from his phone at 7:56 p.m. On February 13, 2017, initial exam of the analysis indicates Logan's phone was likely outside the residence in the proximity of where LG and AW's bodies were located. 24, an analysis of Logan's phone data revealed a text message received by his phone at 10:16 p.m. on February 13, 2017. Initial exam of the analysis indicates Logan's phone was likely outside of his residence in the proximity of where LG and LE's body were located. 25, Logan met with law enforcement officers on or about February 17, 2017. While they were on his property, Logan was physically able to get up and down the hill from his home. And we know because he had his hands in his pocket. Has anyone seen documentation of where he, here, I don't even know where the live stream is. Oh, wait, I'm just reading some of this. Oh, good. Maybe. Okay, does anybody have seen Logan walking down the hill and walking, and he keeps his one hand in his pocket and his legs kind of curve in and out like it looks like a limp? I mean, again, I'm not trying to say anything, but looks pretty identical to what he's doing, you know? So the height and difference about Bridge Guy. So when they compared it, because Riggy Allen's like 5'4" to 5'6", and they said when they actually compared the measurement, and you can even look on like YouTube on other people's channels, but when they measured it with like a person that could actually look at a photo and tell, sorry, I'm joking, tell that someone actually, you know, the height and weight of the photo, it was somebody over 6 feet. And that's from YouTube. That's from like experts, or according to, I don't want to say experts like Detective Holman, but that's what YouTube said. And that's what a lot of people said when they were like measuring the distance of the camera. A lot of people looked into that, and it was at least over 6 feet tall. Yep. Photogrammetry. Ron was 6 feet. Rick was 5'4". Dude is short and had a beer belly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And when you zoomed out, it was like more straight. Yeah. I mean, I'm a shorter guy. I mean, I'm not 5'4", but I'm definitely not 6 feet tall. And I definitely am not the size of Ron Logan. Okay, so let's go into it. And please, if you guys can get subscribed, that's all I ask. We need one more subscriber to hit 900. I know that's not much. I don't like to ever say subscribe or like the channel, but it would really help if we can get just one more. Thank you. Okay, let me go into more of the info. Do you guys mind if I take just a break to go to the washroom for like 20 seconds? Is that okay? I'm sorry. Thank you, Texas lady. I appreciate it. I'm just going to go to the washroom for a minute. I don't know how to take a break on this channel. I promise I'm like trying to figure it out. Share screen. So if I share the screen, so next week I'll be able to share the screen. If I share the screen now, it'll actually break and collapse. Absolutely. Go. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Just in case you haven't heard. Oh, what did I say? Thank you. Sorry about that. Okay, so we'll keep going. Thank you about that. I promise we'll have like a interruption break. Okay, so next. Okay, I'm going to read more about the search warrant. And please keep asking good questions like you're doing. I mean, you know way more about the case than I do. December 2016 was in a sexual relationship with Logan, on and off, for approximately 3 years. During the interview with LEO, law enforcement officer said when she first learned about Abby and Libby were missing and then found dead near Logan's home, her initial thought was Logan was involved. I mean, guys, I'm going to write this down. All right. So if we were building a house, right? Let's just do an analogy of a house. So basically, everything that's pointing at Logan, okay, and we're going to build, right? So we're going to do foundation, one. They had one. And we have the basement, two. We have the living room, first floor, three. I think we're already on the second floor. So we're basically, and I'll write this down. So the foundation, so I always like to play this game. If we're building a house, right? We got the foundation, right? You got to make a foundation for like the basement. So we have Ron Logan, false alibi. Two, let's just say cell phone pinging. Three, the transit station. He didn't give an alibi for that. 4, FBI remodeled bathroom. 5, X said it's him on the bridge. Said he's the one I think killed the girls. So we already have the second level. And that's not even the jailhouse confession yet. So we actually have an entire house built, the house of Logan, right? So I'm going to keep going. During the interview with law enforcement officers, said when, Miss Nikolai, when she first learned that AW and LG were missing and then found dead near Logan's home, her initial thought were Logan was involved. Said in an interview that she feared Logan and even previously told her baby's father if she ever ended up dead, Logan did it. Okay, so we have the house of doubt already built. 27. On March 14, 2017, explained in her interview that Logan had been violent in the past. So we have like a violent person in the past explained that on July 4, 2016, while at Logan's home, Logan punched her in the face, knocked her down the stairs. Explained that she was drinking, but Logan was completely sober during the incident. I mean, oh my God. Also explained that Logan was angry because she disrespected Logan while at his house. I mean, he's a woman beater. On February 13th, LG's family began searching the area of the trail where LG and AW were initially dropped off, beginning shortly after 3 p.m. LG's family and other community members joined the search shortly. Carroll County Sheriff's Office was notified at 5:30 that LG and AW were missing. Once the search for LG and W began, no one reported seeing any other person matching the description of the male on the bridge. I mean, guys, please. I have enough ammo right now where how could you say, oh, you're defending Ricky Allen? How could you even, when you read this from the FBI, how could you even go after me? How could you be so close-minded to not think there's something up? And again, this is not even Otism. This is not all the other layers. This is just one particular person that the FBI established was the suspect, which should be big enough. 29. The FBI has established a database for the collection and organization of tips provided by the public in the case. The database revealed 15 tips in which citizens, both known and anonymous, attributed the crime to Logan for various reasons. Sorry, I don't want to be pathetic, but I mean, come on. 30. Based on the above, I can't even read that. Aforementioned facts, Logan was in the area at the time of the crime occurred, and then he provided false information about his activities. Um, okay, so he was at the time the cell phone pinged, and then we talked about the 911, the satellite data, right? Okay. So, information to be searched and things to be seized. Based on the information, facts, I believe that there's probable cause to believe that Ron Logan has committed the crime of murder. Drop the mic. Okay? And again, even if we don't even think, I still want to keep an open forum. But this is enough from the FBI. Why aren't we showing this if we're the defense team? What's that about? The state. This is enough. How could jurors convict Richard Allen? Reading this. If you just read this and then said, let's talk about Richard Allen, and then you watch his interrogation, would you ever think that? Okay, next. Okay, I'm going to read some of the comments real quick. Okay, Rick was there but left it before it all started. Him and Jackie, Jenny, I got her your number at Skid Row. I noticed you boogies recently. It's not easy even when it's this easy. Well, hey, all girls say hey. Everyone's saying hey. The closet was seeing that Ron. I went with finders or what was saying. Sorry, this is moving too fast. You did a live stream with someone. Yeah. I like that, Tracy. So is this laziness, incompetence, or corruption? I think those are three valid points. This is laziness, incompetence, or corruption. I think that's perfectly put. Probably scared of the judge. Vote for Skinny. Cole's got to go. Yeah, that's the problem. The jury never got to hear any of this. Exactly. What was law enforcement's excuse not to investigate further? My memory could be better. Based solely on irrigation, I would to protect the network. Yeah, exactly. This is all really good. So basically, now we talked about Ron Logan, and we went over his search warrant, and we went over the probable cause on why they did a search warrant, and why. So I look like a used carpet salesman, and why they went after him. Oh, this is so many good things. The host is way more. Well, that's a lot of good info. Sorry, it's just coming too fast to read. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel. So, okay, great. So we went over Ron Logan. Now, the next part. So we went over Logan. We went over all the holes. And another thing, I don't know if you guys know, but like Ron Logan, so like News Nation, I know I might sound repetitive to some, but News Nation said that a journalist followed around Ron Logan for about 2 months. And the one thing is he always said, hey, you want to see my animals? You want to see my horses or bunnies or whatever he said. And it was the same thing on the jailhouse confession with Reese Davis saying, you want to see my bunnies and animals. So it kind of really, and it was like when she said, and you can Google this, if you just Google like News Nation, she said, well, this really came full circle when he said that. It gave like the hair on my back chills because I was like, oh my God, here he is saying that. And this was like extremely creepy. Okay, so sorry, I'm just reading some of the chat. So let's go over Detective Jerry Holman now. And again, next week we'll be able to share the screen. I think you got to put Delphi in. This is crazy. You have to. I can't even find him. Hold on. I took screenshots in case I wouldn't find him. Okay, 1 second. Let's see Holman here. Okay, Detective Jerry Holman was a key Indiana State Police investigator in the Delphi murders case, known for his intense interviews with suspect Richard Allen, where he used trained techniques, even lying about evidence to elicit a confession, which we know law enforcement can and detectives can, and later testified about Allen's admissions including Alan saying it doesn't matter. I mean, he just said, "You've ruined my reputation. Everyone in the town thinks it's me. Everybody knows it's me, and it doesn't matter." Because he had general anxiety disorder, which a lot of us have. Okay, whether you're taking Lexapro or Zoloft, you have anxiety, and you care what people think, or you don't like the opinions of others. So you get kind of hot and bothered with, especially the entire town thinking you're a killer. So he lost, he knew he was going to lose his job, his reputation, everything in the town since he's lived there his entire life. And it just bothered him. And it doesn't even matter at that point because everyone has already labeled him as the killer, especially when law enforcement says someone's the killer. So he already thought, hey, it's him. It doesn't matter. Holman, interrogation. Holman used psychological tactics, including building rapport, with the military service, and deception, claiming DNA match on the bullet, which is bullshit, during his interview with Richard Allen. Testimony. He testified in a court about Allen's statements during the search of his home, highlighting key phrases like "it doesn't matter, it's over," "what kind of good person would kill two girls." The defense highlighted inconsistencies and alleged errors in the investigation, including Holman's methods, while he maintained his belief that only person committed the crime. The defense, he described the crime as brutal, expressing deep empathy for the victims, Libby German and Abigail Williams, who were found. In essence, Detective Holman was essential to questioning of the primary suspect in the high-profile Delphi murders, providing crucial testimony about the suspect's reaction and statements. Yep, Holman is an idiot. Just a little sneaky snake. I'm just reading. Wow, there's a lot of good info. Sorry, I'm just catching up with everyone. Okay, so we're going to go on. So we have Detective Holman. We have Richard Allen saying, hey, it wasn't me. I don't care what you say. It wasn't me. On day 3, he originally went to the investigators, and then he got lost in the shuffle, and then they called him back. Okay, next thing. And again, next week, we're going to have to be able to share a screen. All right, so we're going to go. Holman said Melissa Oberg was a forensic scientist, and she had all the data about chambering a gun. But again, Sig Sauer and all the people that we've spoke to said it wasn't accurate. It was not something that was like a matter-of-fact science, 100%. So we know that. Okay, so we're going to go into the next thing about Ron Logan. 1 second here. Okay, wait, no, I'm sorry. So just to tie a bow on Logan, so we have the cell phone pings, we have the animal data, we have the remodeled bathroom, we have the warrant, we have the ex-girlfriend with abuse towards women, we have the News Nation example, we have the ex-girlfriend saying it looks like him on the bridge before they even knew. Now we have the same outfit. A few days ago, he looked like the same person on the crime. He looked identical to the same person. So when they interviewed him down the hill, they said there wasn't enough inconsistencies to say it's not him. That's what they said. Okay. Then he's got the blue jacket. So they said bridge guy wore a blue jacket and was really stocky. And I had this actually in one of my in the search warrant affidavit. I could pull it up, but it'd take me a little bit of time. So they said a blue jacket, a guy that's heavier wearing a cap. Okay, so if you look at the video of him a couple of days after, he's wearing the same jacket, and it may or may not be it. I don't want to do a matter of fact, but he's wearing the same jacket that looked just like him. Okay, so you have that. Transfer station. So you have the alibi, but then you don't tell your cousin you were at the transfer station. So if you're worried about driving under the influence so much, you don't bring up the transfer station. All right, so that's fishy. Same outfit. The walk. If you look at info on Ron Logan, he walks with his hand in his pocket. And then, hey, can everybody hear me okay? And then he hit the width of his legs kind of go outward. And he's walking with his hand in his pocket and he goes up and down the hill really fast. So we have that. And now we're going to go on the jailhouse confession. Nobody gets any skin in the game for that. Thank you. Criminal Network. I love the data. And then Montana Gale is also great at this. But Criminal Network, the FBI used analysis and said the person down the hill, you guessed it, Ron Logan, exactly. Okay, thank you, Reby. Let me see if Reby, I love Reby so much. She's such a great person. Let me see, can I, let me add you. Okay. Okay, so and we have that. We have the limp, and now we have the jailhouse confession. What does everybody think about the jailhouse confession with Reese Davis? I personally, from what I read, I knew it was evidence where, according to the stuff I read, where he wasn't trying to get like out of jail. Like I never want to believe a felon. I never want to believe someone in jail because I always think like they're trying to obviously get out of jail with what they're saying, right? Like El Chapo would tell you everything at the Supermax in Colorado. But like, according to reports, he never said anything he didn't want to say, right? Okay, Skin Roll, I believe Reese, exactly. Okay, Bella May, his ex-girlfriend tipped him multiple times. She said she knew that it was his voice the minute she heard it. Exactly. I mean, it just keeps stacking up. And again, we're going to move on to different subjects, but I want to stick on this Ron Logan while you guys are talking. I stumbled upon a psychic doing a tarot from Chadwell. I was arrested. Generally, I don't listen, but it gave me the chills. Reese, I believe. Reese knew Ron. Sorry, it's going so quick. Reese knew Ron Logan since 2017. Reese didn't meet Keegan Klein until 2022. Montana Girl was against his own best interest, so it's an exception. Hearsay, submissive, unbelievable. Margaret, I believe Jackson P. I don't know that. Skid Row, Call Me Skinny Ted, LMAO. He turned on the Aryan Brotherhood while serving a 50-year sentence for something in any other county would result in less than a 5-year sentence. Jenny, El Chapo, and his kids are morons. Yeah, exactly. They are. Los Sandros, 207, nobody on the bridge behind them. And at 209, RO was behind them. Had to be exactly. Jackie Johnson, Crank Queens, Kim. Law enforcement has to know they had the wrong man. Yep. He was close. Okay. I'm trying to read as quick as I can, but they keep coming. Logan had to get on the bridge after 207, assuming the time is correct. Jackie, good point. Fig, I respect Reese. He's riding his neck to do the right thing. Case Case has interviewed him and sexually. Oh, great. Yeah, I'm going to have to keep checking. That is awesome. Case has interviewed him extensively. Wow, that is awesome. I'd love to interview the guy. Thank you, Fig. I appreciate that info. Michelle, prison, not jail. Lysandra, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to catch up with the chat. This is total corruption. I don't believe there was any mistake. Montana Gale has a lot of good points. I mean, she sends me so many different things. There's no bridge guy. Reese that put it out there every target case and had stripped him of everything. Criminal Network, Reese. Oh, criminal. Thank you, Reby. I love Reby. She's the best. She's kind of like the CEO of the chat. Criminal Network and Montana Girl is be so. And Criminal Network. I mean, Criminal Network. If you don't know, join his podcast or hers podcast. It is unbelievable. Reese's wife in these chats. She is awesome. Wait, Reese's wife's in these chats? Not my chat, right? I'm sorry, you're making me go insane. If that's true, I'll feel like I actually made it in life. Those times that were geofence locations, he was near the bodies at night. Thank you, Jackie. Yep, geofence. She's absolutely wonderful. Check out Case by Case Delphi Vault. Thank you, Fig. I definitely will. Sorry, I just keep reading everybody. There's so much good content. You guys are the real stars of the show. Like, you guys are light years above anybody on this case. Like, the jurors should just read your comments. After he has interviewed his raggedy clothes, the next interview he shows up with a nice shirt, sandals, Montana Girl red herring. What's up, Montana Girl? Reby, thanks, Emmy. Criminal Network, thanks, brother. I'm a male. Yep, thanks, Criminal Network. I mean, Criminal Network is, thank you so much. I mean, I can't thank you enough. Reby, Montana Girl. Jenny, Reby should be your. I know. I wanted to ask Reby to be my mod. I don't know if she wants to be, but Reby just text yes, and I'll make you that. I was thinking about that too. Stephanie, she's very sweet. Fig, if she is, congratulations on your recent marriage. Criminal Network, Dirty Diana, Skin Row, ain't seeing a dude. Skin Row, thank you. You are actually really good at all the comments you say. A lot of you make me really think on a lot of stuff. Jessica, also the guy I dated whose son was arrested. His grandma owned the marathon. Hi, Ted. I mean, Montana Girls. I love Montana Girl. Sorry, just seen the sleuth. He said the same thing. Reby, yes. Okay. Let's see. How do we even do this? I don't even know how to do this. Reby, add as a moderator. Okay, well, maybe. I don't know. Okay, Reby, we got you on. Jenny, I thought Cian was a girl. Criminal Network. I mean, Criminal Network. Thank you. I can't thank you enough. Montana Girl too. I can't thank you enough for all the data. I mean, it blows my mind. Bella May, Jessica, do you have any poll to get the marathon dates from the 13th? What are the marathon dates? So, guys, I was joking when I said marathon. I was just like, hey, how long can we be online? Bella May, or at least documentation that they're erased. Information is key. Okay. Okay. So, next thing. Sorry, I'm just checking my. Okay, so the next thing we're going to go into here, Ron Holman, or no, I'm sorry, Jerry Holman. Do you guys want to go to Brad Holter? Oh, wait, agreed. Stick with CN. Yes, whoever wants to join the moderator, but it's up to Reby. I'm going to go to the restroom again. I have to go to the restroom just for 1 second. So just bear with me. I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, he's signing the paperwork. Okay, just give me 1 second here. We will be right back. Make sure you subscribe if you like the channel. Thank you, Reby. Yeah, I would love to have the criminal network. Yeah, Alan is definitely in serious danger. I'm worried about how he transferred to Oklahoma. Okay, just give me a second here. Okay, how's everybody now? Okay, sweet. I'm going to go over Richard Allen. Okay, perfect. There we go. Okay, so we are going to go over Richard Allen's appeal. And again, next week we'll be able to share a screen so everyone can see it, and we'll have a lot of different people on. Right now, it's just going to be me, unfortunately, so you see my face. Hold on. Let me go. I'm checking my Gmail into Richard Allen's appeal. It's moving real slow here. Hold on. I'm sorry about that, everyone. Let's see. I think I have it under Richard Allen. Okay, wait. As we're waiting, there you go. Gail, you're golden. There you go. Thank you, everyone. And make sure, please, if you can, just subscribe. Sorry. Richard Allen, case affidavit, probable cause. Hold on. I'm just going through all my files. Allen says he's safe for bail. Inmate complaining about Allen's conditions. Holy cow, I got so many different things. I didn't do the best job when I was reading all those pages because I had to use on Canva and it was like really hard to put together. So like next week we'll have an actual person to put it all together. Because I'm fronting it all, like all the money up front. So then I go a little cheap with the computers, but now that we have our own thing with our own like computers and our own system, it's not as like bad as this is. So I apologize. Because we want to do Delphi like nonstop. And I'm going to go out to Richard Allen's place because we like to do like go to the actual place and like ruffle feathers and be out of control. Believe me, we will. We're not scared of any of that. We are going to be out of control when we go to where Richard Allen is. I mean, we did it with Mercedes Vega. I went to her apartment complex where everything happened. Like, so I'm obsessed with Delphi. So we're going to be like out of control with it. So I guarantee you that if someone like beats the living hell out of me when we go there, so be it. But we have people that are boots on the ground, and I will be there. I think that's So AKA Raider, I feel like he was in Oklahoma, right? He's transferred to Oklahoma, or am I wrong? Please tell me, everyone. He's in Oklahoma, right? Let me know when you come to Delphi. I might want to meet you. Yes, Skin Row, for sure. I will be in Delphi. I was there about a year ago. That's when I got obsessed, or 2 years ago, when I got obsessed about the case. I will be there in probably 3 weeks from now. We got to wait in the weather because we are going to drive. We would fly, but we got to bring like other people. So we're definitely going to drive there outside of Purdue University. Yeah, Oklahoma. I'll meet you in Oklahoma. Do I protest outside the prison? Yeah, for sure. We're going to be causing massive. Again, we're not going to mess with law enforcement. We are going to be letting ourselves known outside of Oklahoma. I think it's big. I mean, I want Ricky out. We got to get him no matter what. I know he's not the type of guy to speak for himself, and that's what makes it even more of me wanting to do it because I know he's the type of guy that's just like, hey, I got my daughter, I got my wife, I have my small town life, and I just kind of go through the steps. He needs someone that's outgoing, that wants to be in your face and wants to defend. And because he's not like that, that's what got him in this predicament, because he's not like super over emotional. Myself, I am. I am, if I was convicted of something, I would scream, kick, and shout, and I would make everybody know. I'd get people in fucking headlocks. I would probably, if someone told me that I murdered little girls, I would choke them probably in person, to be honest. So, and again, I'm not the toughest guy in the world. I'd probably get my ass kicked, but I definitely would jump over the interrogation thing and like choke the hell out of you. Like, there's no way. And I feel like that's what we got to do for Ricky. Put me in jail, do whatever you can. I can get the lawyers. I have my own business, obviously, that I bankroll this company with. So bring it on. Like, what's right, what's wrong. I'm on team Ricky Allen, and people can call me kooks. They can call me nuts, but like from Brad Holder to Ron Logan to all the other conspiracy things, there's enough evidence where 12 jurors, there should be enough people to say he didn't do it. So do whatever you want to me. I'm going to be there. I'm going to shout, stomp, cheer. I'm going to be in your face, and I'm going to be there nonstop because he can't speak for himself. He's a quiet, reserved person, and I'm going to be the guy that he needs to go absolutely apeshit, even if they have to tase me or whatever. So be it. I don't care. I could care less. I've never done anything wrong in my life. I got a clean background. I can afford a lawyer with my business. Again, yeah, I'd be losing money, but I care less. I run a small business. I don't care. I've always been squeaky clean with the law. I've never done anything. You could put me in cuffs. You could do whatever you want for me. I've always been straight and narrow. There's never been any sick situation like Ricky Allen, so bring it on. But I'm going to defend this guy because this is crazy. If that happened to me, I'd want someone to come after them. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I know it can happen. The older I get in life, you never know what predicament you can be in. I mean, look where I'm at here. I'm in like, it looks like I have like a grandma's house. Hey, he murdered a grandma or whatever. Like, you never know. And if people don't speak the truth, it's never going to happen. And when you have this many things against Ron Logan, you have the Ricky's appeal, you have the chamber round, you have Otism, you have Brad Holder, okay? You have his son Logan who dated Abby. You have his ex-wife Amber who said Brad said Patrick hurt him or somebody killed Abby. You have Brad Holder with, punching out at X time, but it was a generic time card. You have interrogation. You don't have any DVR. You have no recording of Brad Holder. You have nothing. You have enough for reasonable doubt. And that's what just drives me nuts. Like, forget all the things I'm saying here. You have enough from what the defense appealed for reasonable doubt. But like, if you're in a small town, you have lawyers. Again, I have someone that I know whose ex doesn't have the best grip on their child, and like the lawyer kind of like the judge sided with one side and it's not right. That happens. You have to be the type to like listen to me. And Ricky Allen is not that type, and we all know it. He's not going to be the guy that goes crazy. He's going to be the guy that kind of goes into his rabbit hole. Then he gets bullied in solitary confinement, and then it says it's him. And then he gets rattled around by prison guards and makes a fake confession, and it has nothing to do with him. And he said it has nothing to do with him, but they'll get him, and he's eating his own, feces. He's putting it on the wall, but he's the perfect type to convince that he did it, right? We've all had jobs. We've all, I don't know everyone, but like there's salesmen. There's people at every spot in life. And we've all listened to a boss where we have to act as if we have to get people to cross the plank. We have to get people to say they want to buy or say they did a crime or say they, aren't going to buy. We have to get to the no, right? And to get to the no, when you're studying in college, this high level persuasion and psychology, you're going to use tactics that a simple-minded person doesn't know. And you're going to apply these tactics with people that don't know what's coming for them. And if you apply those tactics with people that are just regular day Joes, you're going to manipulate them. I mean, it's obvious. And when you put the pressure on the investigative team from the public and from everyone for 7 years, they're going to find somebody. Whether it's real or not real, it doesn't matter at that point. We're going to dry out every ounce of the rag and make someone do it. Okay, wait. By all the videos, the version. Rick, 100% Rick is a people pleaser. He hates conflict. That's the one thing he wants no part of. So he wants no part of the conflict. He wants nothing to do with it. He wants an easy life. He wants to come and go. He wants his daughter. He wants his wife. He wants everything in between. But he wants zero conflict. He's not a conflict guy. He suffers from general anxiety disorder, and he does not want. Okay, I'm going to go to the next page here. All right. Odinism. Brad Holder and Patrick Westfall at the time. Brad was married to Amber. Brad married Amber Holder. Okay, so these are some of the notes I took. Brad had 3 sons. Out of the 3 sons, I'm going to say L. I can say his name even though I have it. Had been in a relationship with Abby for a short while. Okay. Speculation. Brad posted on social media images of ruins on his social media seemed to resemble the way Abby and Libby were found on the Moreland High Bridge. The investigators believed girls walked in on Brad and Patrick during an odinistic ritual. Take that for a grain of salt. At the allegedly killed the teens, Brad's ex-wife said Amber also told the authorities that Patrick had confessed to killing Abby. She was told about Patrick's confession from Brad. Brad's alibi clocked out from his workplace gym at 2:40. No, I'm sorry, not from his workplace at 2:45. Then he checked into his gym at 4:08. Now, a lot of people say that, not a lot of people, but people say that it was like a generic work card. It wasn't one with his name and badge. Said anyone could have done it. People say that Brad left at 1:45 p.m. Again, this is speculation. But again, they have him checking in at 4:08 p.m. That would have been challenging with the murders. But again, Odinism is something that I really believe that happened. Interrogation was all the files were completely missing of Brad. They never checked his cell phone pinging. And then the Flora fires. Okay, so we have that. So I wanted to read over that. Who else? Who invited DB? Margaret, can you explain, please? There was only 2 other guys arrested. Okay, so let's talk about the judge and the attorneys. It's pretty interesting. Logan, just because more than one of his sons. Well, wasn't Logan? Yeah. Does anybody know anything on Logan's sons? Please, or son, please type. That would be interesting. Let me go through here. I'm going to look up. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Ron Logan's son. Let's look up Ron Logan's son. We do Delphi. I don't see anything in this Delphi defense. Discussion is about a defense filing that includes an alleged confession by Ron Logan in Delphi. So we're talking about the jailhouse confession, how he said he, cut the girls' throats, how he killed them. The public didn't know at the time, so that's just another layer, and we all know that already. There's so much that checks out for Ron Logan. Okay, wait. Give me 1 more second, everyone. Let me see. Let me read some of your things. He's a person. What's up, DB? You need to talk to Andrew about Ron Logan. Montana, yeah, you could 100% tell the. Gaul, they allowed Gaul to continue on our Constitution. Oh, sorry, Debbie, you got COVID. That stinks, Ted. What about the attorneys not filing any Brady violations? Is that the quickest way to get them out? Okay, let's look at that. Brady violations, criminal network. Okay, I'm going to read some of the Delphi stuff. Hold on one second. The defense team Virgin Allen was convicted in the 2017 Delphi murders is allegedly named numerous Brady violations by the prosecution, claiming withholding of significant exculpatory evidence. These allegations are a central part of Allen's ongoing appeal process. A Brady violations occurred when the prosecution in a criminal case withholds evidence that is favorable to the defense and material to either guilt or punishment. Richard Allen's attorneys have stated a detailed range of alleged issues in court filings, which include accusations of the prosecution suppressing alternative suspect information. The defense claims the prosecution withholds letters suggesting another individual, an inmate named Ron Logan, confessed to the murders. The detail argues this point to an alternative suspect defense, which they were not allowed to present at trial, withholding evidence of police misconduct. The defense has raised concerns about missing interview recordings and law enforcement notes, which they argue suggest a pattern of mishandling evidence that could have been favorable to Ellen, concealing forensic details. Court documents filed by the defense mention that the victims' bodies were found staged with tree branches and sticks arranged in pagan symbols associated with Odinism, a detail that the defense claims the prosecution downplayed or hid to secure Allen's conviction. Using inconsistent statements, the defense claims the prosecution allowed false evidence about the timeline of events while allegedly suppressing prior inconsistent statements from their own witness. The defense has argued that these actions were a scorched earth takedown that erodes the foundation of a fair trial. If a court finds a genuine Brady violation that prejudice the defendant, it could also result in the verdict being overturned or a new trial. The current legal process involves an appeal where these alleged errors are being considered by higher courts. Um, Very interesting. Let's see. Tim Prater, 841, wife and mother spent it locked up at a house. I'm so glad. It seems like everyone got sick over Christmas. Yes. Jenny, we need Gritty Bag Ted. Down the Hill podcast is filled with great info. Well worth a listen. Thank you, Criminal Network. You're on the radar. We want all the same thing. He needs Barbara McDonald about Ron. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so what else? I'm trying to think. Fig, it is all but physically impossible with standardized recording equipment to have recorded over those interviews. Criminal Network, Fire Chief Darrellson cleared both sides of the bridge 4 times. He even asked Boland if he could check of it. He gave Raider, oh no, I'm sorry. Montana girl, too many double agents in here for me. I'm out. Have a good night, Deb and Ted. Have a good night, Montana girl. So would you guys let me go over the appeal? Is there anything else you guys would want me to cover right now? Let me see if I can pull up stuff. 1 second. And next week will be much better. I'll be able to share my screen. So let's see the camera. Okay, I'm going to read this. Hold on. Just go back to Ron. Based on the facts, I believe there's probable cause that Ron Logan has committed the crime of murder and evidence that could be found in Ron Logan's property. The request of warrant to search Ron Logan's entire property located at Delphi, blah, blah, blah. of 46923 described as a white two-story single-family dwelling, included as detached garage, outlines that a vehicle of a white Ford 250. Any and all evidence pertaining to a murder, including cloth, forensic evidence, blood, hair, bloody fluids, fibers, weapons, including guns, and cutting instruments, electronic devices used to produce the cellular signals detected by law enforcement in the area of the crime scene, and animal hair samples, computers and computer equipment, digital storage, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let me read the next one. Wait 1 second. I want to get everybody Richard Allen here. Such as graphic interchange from format equipment and the data store materials which has been used or may have been used to store evidence of the crime, research ways to conceal the crime, 5 records, documents, writings, and correspondence containing information about the crime scene, or any individual involved in the crime. 6, any and all tablets, phones, iPads, devices, and any and all other electronic devices which may contain digital evidence. 6, so they're just, it's Nicola Robinson's evidence. 1 second here. I'm going to go into the Richard Allen documents. 1 second, everybody, bear with me. I read it on my video. Richard Allen appeal. We'll just get to the bare bones of this. Okay, let's see what we can read here. Okay, let's read the chat. CNIS was a criminal first called to go back. I honestly don't know if Odin stuff has anything to do with the murder. I do know it sure seemed like they jumped grabbing something. Criminal network. There was a original non-DB, more like ODAG. Evidence was not shown to the jury per Gold Texas lady. Tim Prayer, did the state try and hide the Purdue professor? What is the Purdue professor? That's interesting, Tim. Wrote it in. Professor was. Thank you, Reby. Okay, we're going to keep going here. Sure, I'm not reading this. Okay, Delphi, Indiana, after being granted several extensions, did Delphi murders, 130 timeline, day by day summary of the Delphi murder trial. The argument for appealing the conviction, filed in 113-page brief, focused on 3 main points. 1, the search of Allen's home was unconstitutional, resulting in admissible evidence that should have been thrown out of the murder trial. Another bullet point, the confessions made by Allen while in confinement were inadmissible due to his gravely disabled state. Allen's trial defense lawyers also argued against the validity of his prison confessions, claiming that but these attempts also failed. The confessions were deemed admissible, and Allen County Judge Fran Gold denied Allen's attorneys from presenting their ritualistic killings theory during the ruled that the theory had no nexus to tie all the information for third-party suspects. In November, an appeal team filed a 1,200-page document with the appeals court containing information about the Odin by Allen's trial defense team, the police investigations into the girl's death. It included information and potential jury from here went down the wrong path. Richard Allen requests this court refer Richard Allen's attorneys. Yep. Hey, everybody. I'm sorry, I'm just back on. Sorry, everyone. It just connected now. I apologize. It broke down. There won't be a problem like this next week. Thank you, Reby. So, is there any other cases? And again, I can keep taking more of a deep dive. What other cases do people want to know about? That's what I'm curious about. Fig, the only confessions with any substance was information already online, filtered through a psychologist who destroyed her notes, was later fired for accessing government computers to look up other suspects. Criminal Network LL, you're funny, Jenny, aka Radar, all good. Tim, dope, been a good boy since 2017. That last stress was enough for me to take my time away from 18 months. Texas, don't jinx yourself, Raby, it's okay. Criminal Network, there are third world countries that said keep their names out of their mouth. Oh, John Benet Ramsey, I know. God, John Benet Ramsey's a great one. Dang, the Criminal Network, that is, my God, with this sun and on Delphi. So the Flora fires. I want your trust in Delphi so bad I don't have another case. Yep, makes sense. That's a good case. Yeah. We're doing Delphi a lot more, and I'm going to get everybody, at least in this channel, I'm going to share a lot more of my content on the screen. Wallet alone should be enough. This case thrown out, seeing true. God, everybody on this, everybody's so smart with this stuff. Okay, let's see. So when you chamber around Richard Allen, so we had a gunsmith and we had someone at Sig Sauer. So when you chamber around, you have to do it so many times to get an exact match. So when you're manufacturing a Sig Sauer P226 40 caliber Smith & Wesson, manufacturing, right? So if you fire a gun, they will make the parameter. They're a business. They need to create guns for a business. They're not going to have 10 layers of self-defense on it. And if that's the only thing, you have no DNA, you have no proof, you have nothing outside of oh, I'm really freezing now. Hold on. Good. Okay, so what does everybody think about Brad Holder? So Criminal Network, what is your opinion on? So Criminal Network put together one of the best breakdowns I've ever seen. He or she, I'm sorry, put together, I think I actually have it. I'm going to read Criminal Network and check out the channel. They're awesome. They kick ass. I love them. I'm going to read what they commented because I think it's lights out. I think it's awesome. So this is from Criminal Network, and you should definitely subscribe to the channel. They're awesome. Okay, I'm going to read the comment that they put on one of my videos. This is what really happened. Most, if not all, following information is from Delphi locals, law enforcement, some retired, some still on duty, and some local officials working on the Delphi case. Please know that I would never name any of my sources, which is key. Believe it or not, this is what really happened in Delphi, Indiana. Exactly what you think happened with Abby and Libby happened. In a town of 3,000 people, try not to overthink it. The killers were professionals. Again, this is a Criminal Network. To start, do y'all remember when Ron Logan said it was lit up by a football field on the news? That was in February, not March, when the FBI served their search warrant. It was lit up because of the evening of February 14, 2017, Ron Logan's entire property was searched illegally. However, what was uncovered in Ron Logan's barn and basement slash cellar was everything needed to convict multiple suspects for the murders of Abby and Libby, including firearms, numerous custom forged knives, blood, DNA, and clothing from the victims. Mullins and the Delphi PD jumped the gun and did not follow the proper procedures. First couple days, Delphi PD was up front and part of Unified Command, or what we call Unified Pretend. But slowly, the Delphi PD was removed from even investigating the case. Mullins gets fired as chief of police and gets hired for the prosecution, holy cow, for Richard Allen. After sentencing, Mullins returned as chief. The most difficult part to put together was how that blunder was not told to the FBI. It was an instant cover up. Dozens of search warrants were served in the first week after the murders, according to law enforcement and the news. Yet, on the property the bodies were found, it took a month to get a search warrant. Bullshit! Exclamation points. February 4th, 2017 and again, this is from Criminal Network. Check out the page, YouTube Criminal Network, was the original unfiled illegal search warrant on Ron Logan and his property. Yes, he was on probation and they can search him and where he lives, but not all outbuildings and the entire property. Ask yourself, why wasn't Ron Logan charged for felon in possession of a firearm? They recovered over 100 guns. Holy cow. So the crime was solved, but never publicity, which should have just floated away in time, unsolved. Tony Liggett, here we go, guys, opened up a Pandora's box and changed everything. That's an entirely different story about the railroading of Richard Allen. But until then, so far, Ron Logan is definitely a suspect with an alibi created before the bodies were even found. Okay, you guys know that, right? Okay. Ron Logan was never into astroorganism, which was meth making friends were. He allowed it to happen on his property. Bridge Guy was 100% Ron Logan. Okay. Or somebody stole his wardrobe and his mustache and fanny pack and even his voice. I find that funny. Listen, the FBI was absolutely on the right track by serving a search warrant in March 2017 and naming Ron Logan as a suspect involved in the deaths of Abby and Libby. He was arrested. What happened? Well, Carroll County District Attorney refused to prosecute Ron Logan for the murders or being a felon in possession of a firearm. Instead, they charged him with a felon habitual driver, served a year, and was on house arrest till he got COVID and died. Who am I or anyone to say that the FBI was not correct? Everything local and state law enforcement has told us was gaslighting us daily. So yes, I trust the FBI over those beep clowns. It took us over 5 years to hear about or even see Logan's search warrant because it was most likely sealed. Fact. 2017, FBI named Ron Logan as the bridge guy, yet there is another man in prison for being bridge guy. This is great. FBI used their resources and did voice analysis, and the guy saying down the hill was, guess who? You'll never guess it, Ron Logan, who's owned the property the bodies were found on. Ron Logan's phone pinged at 2:09 p.m. on the Monon Bridge. Read Ron Logan's search warrant. Yeah, exactly, see? Because even in 2017, during the search, they were to look for anything related to Norse pagan beliefs. or facts. Ron Logan was old and far from a leader at that age, but he enjoyed his alcohol and meth and allowed it all to take place on his property. The entire abduction, murder, and staging was orchestrated by Brad Holder, Patrick Westphal, using the actors Johnny Messer, Elvis Fields, Rod Abrams, Ned Smith, and others. What nobody knew before all of this happened was that Brad Holder was already working for the feds as an informant. The entire crime was all planned, what was never supposed to actually happen. Why wasn't Carroll County wanting to prosecute Ron Logan? Because Brad Holder was, and will always be the fruit of the poisonous tree. 1 year after the murder, Brad Holder made a painting with someone hanging from a tree with a rune in blood resembling an F, which is 5 years before the world even knew there was an F on the tree painted in Libby's blood. Brad Holder was bragging about what he did ever since it happened in January 2017. Brad's Snapchat was Bad Brad 213 in Asatru on the evening of February 13th. The ritual is the Feast of Valley. Logan Holder, Brad's son, now protected from the poisonous tree that was the original lure to the bridge guy. Now you have to put everything that is connected to the poisonous tree was tainted, and after you will see everything I'm about to name was not allowed to be spoken about because it would mess up the integrity of the investigation. The bodies of Abby and Libby, foreign DNA recovered, knives used to murder the victims, fingerprints, and the entire crime scene. Tainted instead. What did law enforcement talk about? Diversion 101. Bridge guy, how he walked, how he sounded, the trail, the CPS building, the Hoosier Harvestone camera, the Mears farm, the three girls on the trail, where did Rick park? Sarah Carball and Betsy Blair. However, not one of those don't start outwards. You start at the recovering and work your way yet. After 2 days, ISP and local law enforcement was already asking the world for help. Did they do any investigation at all? Or why asking for help so soon? Because it was already solved and there was the big orchestrated charade and cover up by law enforcement. Fruit of the poisonous tree isn't something you hear about in the public because to start, they already messed up. So speaking on it would only cause more of somebody's civil rights being violated. Law enforcement never admits their mistakes. Normally, we hear it about 20 to 30 years later. The fruit of the poisonous tree doctrine is a legal principle that excludes evidence from if it was derived from the initial violation of the defendant's constitutional rights. The poisonous tree is the poisonous tree is the initial illegal action by law enforcement, and the fruit is all evidence subsequently obtained as results of that illegality. The doctrine serves to deter law enforcement misconduct by ensuring that the government cannot benefit from violating a person's constitutional rights, primarily those under the 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendments. In cases with a wealth of tainted evidence, the application is straightforward. Any and all evidence that can be showed to have direct causal link to the initial illegal act is generally inadmissible in court. The killers wanted the world to see their work and message they left behind, but it did not happen at the time, the beginning, and the cover-up began immediately. Fact, foreign DNA and fingerprints were recovered at the crime scene. That was public knowledge. How would that disappear? Crucial interviews after the murders with Patrick Westfall and Brad Holder mysteriously disappeared. DNA, fingerprints, footage, all fruits of poison tree. That was actually absolutely excellent. So yeah, so Criminal Network, my email is tedinvestigates@gmail.com. Tedinvestigates@gmail.com. So please email anything you'd like. What does everybody think about the anybody have any interest in taking a deep dive in the Idaho 4 case at all? Yeah, so Richard Allen's actual car jacket, I think, wasn't even like till 2022. Okay, Tim. Yep, that's fine. So we'll keep taking more deep dives into the Delphi. Please send me anything we want to look at right now with Delphi. Yep, Jenny, I understand. Yep. Okay, so let's at Logan's appeal, or I'm sorry, Richard Allen's appeal. Let me see if I can find. I read a bunch of stuff and then I deleted it. Hold on, Richard Allen appeal documents. So I did an entire thing on every. I read all those pages of paperwork, but I didn't save it. So let me go through it real quick. Yep, Texas for sure. Yep, we'll keep going. I just want to make sure I have Richard Allen's appeal. So I did like 3 separate videos where I read all his appeal documents, and then I had to delete it because this particular computer had too much data on it. So I'm trying to find it now. So just bear with me 1 second. Richard Allen appeal documents. We're going to be doing it all the time. Yes, for me, public relations, propaganda Ted, email sent. Okay, sorry, my email. See, Richard. Well, I'm still looking. Yeah, sorry, my stream is really messing up. Yeah, sorry, I'm still trying. It might really be messing up here with my live stream. So when we get our studio next week, it'll be better. Let me see if I can get the appeal. Yeah, Productions is being cyberstalked right into Holman and the people. Really, Angela. Wait a minute, Fig. So Angela of Arm Productions. I mean, she literally has her shit together. She's awesome. She's cyberstalked right up until Holman and the people from the Murder Sheet Pod inspired to have her SWAT. Are you serious? That is insane. I really respect Angela. I really enjoy her podcast. That is crazy. I suppose it could be compared to how I see the Zodiac. Yeah, yep. We'll definitely go to the Zodiac. I mean, killer. I mean, we have so many different live streams on people, but this is the one that everyone wants to see. Yep, Criminal Network, exactly. R&M is another great station. People on Logan. I mean, it's phenomenal. They were complicit in a crime scene, leak of photos. So, so what I'm going to do is once we have our studio, I would love to have a lot of you guys on, and you could jump in and talk about this case because I feel like people have a lot of different things to say. Wait, I'm just reading the murder sheet. People called anyone who isn't pro guild. Really, the murder sheet called anyone who isn't pro guild crazy. They're insane. I mean, those people are nuts that if they did that. Okay, let me see if we got any Richard Allen stuff. See if it pulls up. Okay, my stream, the next stream, we should everyone with us tonight. It just the stream is just acting funky, so we'll have the better background on the next stream. One of them is an attorney and everything. Holy cow! Yeah. I definitely want to do this on the next stream. We'll have everything. We'll have the background. We'll be able to share the stream. We'll be able to do the Richard Allen appeal. So stay tuned with that. Hold on, wait, stay away from the criminal. I liked him in the photo. We got the money. Oh, are you? Oh my God, Texas lady, are you talking about Gray Hughes? MS needs same treatment. Fig. Check out Andy Copa's coverage into it. Stay away from Greeno. Jenny, stay from Greeno. And so I don't know if you guys can even hear me. Criminal Network, definitely Deb. Fig. Andy Copas is a pro journalist. Yep. Okay. So, like with Gray Hughes, please, like paying him donations to do a live stream is crazy. Like for him to be like, hey, pay me, please pay me. Like, I understand how someone could get hooked on that, but do not pay the guy anything. That is crazy. Okay, perfect. So Texas lady will be a mod as well. Okay, let me click her. I'm going to get out of here for the evening, but I'll make sure we do it once a day of a live stream. Let me add her. How do I add her? Okay, we got Texas and you. Okay, thanks, Ted. Texas lady will be a mod also with me. All right, so we have Texas lady and Reby. Yep. Yeah. I'm not knocking Gray Hughes. I like kind of how he lays things out, but like to beg people and kind of because like I've been in sales, I've been in business, I understand. Like from what he does is kind of suspect. Okay, Andy is streaming tomorrow. Do they get the channel shut down? I don't know how many people are going to be on with New Year's Eve. But I couldn't watch it. It was crazy because it was like, how much can you ask people for money? Like, it just was in poor taste to me. Yep, I couldn't agree. Yep, Texas lady, you were right. Is there anything so tomorrow when I do it, do you guys want the Richard Allen appeal? Do you want to do a like question and answers? I just want to know from you guys. Like I want to know what makes everyone tick or are people interested because I don't want to read Ron Logan if people don't want me to read Ron Logan. So what would you like? And again, I'm not asking everybody, just do you want to keep doing Delphi? Would you like to do Richard Allen appeal? Is there something else that would interest you? Yeah, 2.4 million Ted Cash. Yeah. Oh, Maserati. Yeah, I'll take a Maserati. So should we do Delphi tomorrow? Should we do Idaho 4? Or do you want to do a new thing? I just don't know what gets people to watch. How many family members or victims could possibly have applied blackmail, or could anything that determines them not seeing who could have? Are they just okay people? Delphi, okay. We'll definitely do Delphi, but I want to make sure we're covering every single aspect. Do people want to jump on a live stream and like talk about, like, other than me? Like, do people want to hop on and kind of give their own point of view? What is it? Yep. Okay. We'll for sure do Delphi. I'll for sure have Delphi. I love Raby. Delphi, Ted. It's okay. All right. We'll for sure do Delphi. I just want to make sure I'm keeping the ball rolling with like what interests people. So we'll do the Richard Allen appeal tomorrow. And anything else? Like we'll do New Year's. Okay. Yep. We'll definitely do Delphi. I swear to God, we'll do Richard Allen's appeal. We'll do the other people in the case, and we'll recap everything. Yep. Okay, Criminal Network. Perfect. And then next week, we'll actually have people hop on and share their views, and we'll have more than just me, which will be great. We have other people, most people get shut down, so be careful. Okay, perfect. All right, well, thank you, everyone, for attending this stream. Hope everyone has a nice evening. And we will move forward tomorrow night with a Delphi special, but I really want to look up some stuff and make it worth everyone's while. Thanks, everyone, and everyone have a good evening. Thank you.